Miles Gilbert Horton, better known as Tim Horton. He was a Canadian ice hockey defenceman. Played 24 seasons in the National Hockey League. He played between 1949 and 1974. Played for the Toronto Maple Leafs, New York Rangers, Pittsburgh Penguins and Buffalo Sabres. The Toronto Maple Leafs signed him in 1948 and he turned pro with them in 1950. He played his first NHL game on March 26th of that year, and he stayed with the Leafs until 1970 and won 4 Stanley Cups. Between 1961 and 1968, Tim Horton appeared in 486 consecutive Leaf games and was the NHL record holder for consecutive games played by defencemen until 2007. The Maple Leafs traded him to the New York Rangers in 1970. He was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame as a player in 1977. In 2017, he was named as one of the 100 greatest NHL players in history. During his hockey career, in 1964, Horton opened his first Tim Horton donut shop in Hamilton, and by 1968 he had become a multi-million dollar franchise, or the Tim Horton franchise. Horton was unfortunately killed after he lost control of his sports car during the early hours of the morning on February 21st, 1974. So around 4 AM there was a report of a speeding car on Queen Elizabeth Way from a member of the public. A broadcast was put out over the police radio. Police apparently also observed a speeding car around 30 minutes later and attempted to pursue it, but they lost sight of it. He had played a hockey game in Toronto against his former team and was driving back from the game to Buffalo. From what I've read online, he had stopped at his office in Oakville and was met there by Ron Joyce. Horton phoned his brother Jerry whilst at the office, and apparently Jerry realised that he had been drinking, Horton that is. He tried to persuade him not to drive any further, but Horton continued his journey. Allegedly, Horton passed a curve in the road at Ontario Street, approaching the Lake Street exit in St Catharines. He lost control, drove onto a grass median. The tyre caught a sewer, which caused the car to flip several times. Horton unfortunately was not wearing a seatbelt, and he was found about 123 foot from the car, having been ejected. It's just a very sad ending for such a distinguished, talented human being. So Tim's here now with 2 of his daughters and his wife, Laurie.